Good morning. This is becoming a professional bass player. My name's Deborah and this is the video journal of my career transition. I might be able to add some bass today. It's all been a bit of a rush. I'm off to jazz school in Brentwood and I'm running late and I'm underprepared, which is not great, and it's not my usual modus operandi. But my weekend got a bit hijacked in the best possible way. So Saturday we went out, and Saturday went as planned. We went out into Old Lee and put our new banners up. I was with Caroline and Kaylee, Georgia, Mark and Dom, and we were there for about 3-4 hours giving out our leaflets, playing some tunes. Dom was doing some percussion, and I debuted the new wig, so I'm going to include some footage now of that. I get so nervous doing it, and then when we're out there I have the best time. The wig went very well, actually. It was a bit sort of right up to the wire in terms of the timing of getting that done, but we gave out 500 leaflets, talked to a lot of people, so that should increase our ticket sales. Everyone worked really, really hard. Yeah, Easter Monday I was planning to do the backing tracks, planning to get all the backing tracks done. Now, you know, we don't have a keyboardist. I'd love a live keyboardist. I've been through 3 and all very nice people, for different reasons they weren't able to be in the band. So one of them became a chief inspector in the local police, so got promoted, and you know, that's a pretty full-on job. One of them decided to join. We didn't get to see him at one practice because his sort of pop career and music career took off, and the other one wasn't the right fit. So in the end, I knew I just had to get past this decision of we need a keyboardist. So we have backing keys on backing tracks, which is good in a way because there's some things where there's just lots of complex studio production that you're not going to be able to reproduce live, or it's going to be very difficult to reproduce live. So, you know, the way I look at it is I'm already employing, 12, 13 people. So, you know, eventually it would be great to get a keyboardist, but that might have to wait. So I was doing the backing tracks, trying to get a clearer sound on the click for the drummer. So for those of you, some of you that watch this aren't musicians, and when you go and see a band live, they've usually got, if they're a big band and it's a big production, they've usually got in-ears and you can hear the click coming. The drummer and the other musicians can hear the timing. But our click, because it's downloaded from an internet track, is really sandy and naff. So I'm trying to change the tracks round and use the click that's on Logic Pro. So I'm learning how to do that and mix that in with things that have been recorded to a different click. So quite complex. But then my day got hijacked in the best possible way because my builder Rolly dropped me a line to say that he could come round and look at the railway, the room upstairs for the railway. So I'll just show you a little bit of that now, where we're going to try and put a swing. Do you remember I showed you that picture of Fragonard, the swing, and its inspiration from the film The Slipper and the Rose? Never was one woman inspired so much by one film. We're going to try and do that upstairs at the railway, but obviously we've got to make it safe. There's some places where they hang speakers, but it's a bit tricky. The chain has been lost in the ceiling. So here's Rolly and I yesterday having a look at what we're going to do to be able to put a swing in the railway. Right, this is the famous railway. waiting for me inside to go and look at the upstairs room should be Roland. Here is Roland, bright and early on Easter Monday. Here's the beautiful Railway Hotel. Have a look at this, all beautifully done in Art Nouveau decor, recently refurbished. And Roland and I are going to go and look at the upstairs room, which is up there, and sort out the swing. Right, so we are upstairs. We're upstairs at the railway. It's recently been soundproofed. Look at all that lovely foam that's on the walls. So Divine Funk should be sounding rather yummy. And then up here is our problem. Well, problem, potential. Those two chains go through the ceiling and up to the second hole, but the other part of the chain has been lost in each hole. And Roland and I have got to figure out a way to get up there, get that chain to balance again, and put a swing in the pub. And when I was down there with Roly, I saw that Kai was at the railway, and she's their mixologist, and she and I have been speaking about the different cocktails that we might have on the evening. And I wanted to make those cocktails really beautiful, you know, remembering that Divine Funk is a sensory experience. So it should smell great, it should taste great, it should look amazing. And the attention to detail needs to go through everything. And I haven't been able to catch up with Kai for a while. So I literally ran home and I ran back and I fell over. I was running back with all the things that I'd bought for the cocktails, you know, the freeze-dried flowers, the, you know, special disco cocktail sticks, different decorations and trip drinks, because I wanted to include some non-alcoholic cocktails that contain CBD oil and magnesium and things like that to leave people really feeling great. And I fell over. Oh gosh, I've fallen over quite a lot of times in the last in the last year running about on this project, and I really hit my hand badly, so my palm is really bruised. But thankfully that's the extent of the damage, apart from a hole in my best jeans. So we've now got a range of 4 cocktails: Apple Blossom, Cherry Bombs, what's the other one? Studio 54, and a Virgin Mojito. So they will be on sale. I'll put some pictures up so that you can see them, because obviously we're trying to make sure it's visually appealing as well. And I think what I'm going to do is ask Martha to draw them, because I think that will make a prettier picture than I was able to. I'm no photographer, I'm no John Webber. I'll get Martha to do a really beautiful artist's impression of each of these cocktails, and then I'll get that menu printed up. So I got quite a few jobs done, rushed back to the house, and then my son needed me, and that is the priority. He's got his GCSEs in a couple of months' time. Well, not even a couple of months really, it's weeks' time really. And he needed me to practice Spanish GCSE with him. So instead of doing the backing tracks, and instead of preparing for music school today, I sat there doing a couple of hours of drilling Spanish phrases into his head. So all of that means I'm not in any way prepared for jazz school today, and that's just how it is sometimes. So you guys know that my strength, I mean, I can play the bass quite well, and I can play some pretty complex stuff, but that's because I memorize it. I learn patterns on the neck of my bass guitar. I need to get round to TED Talks. Bass has got a really good tool for learning all the notes, and I'm going to get round to doing that when I have a moment. I learn really complex songs off by heart, play them live repeatedly, and perform them. So I'm really relaxed and enjoy doing that. So I have a real strength in that area. But obviously, sometimes I can play a really complex tune, but if you asked me to do a solo, I'd be like, really stuck. And we saw a great, I think it was improvised solo by Phil Donnelly in my last video. And I want to learn to do things like that. I want to, when they say, right, and now Deborah, I'd be able to do something cool and that fits in and fun. So jazz school's really helpful for me doing that. It helps me to stretch myself, to learn more about my instrument and more about how to improvise with pieces and join in with other musicians, which I'm always so keen to do. So I will be there this morning with Terry Gregory, who's the tutor. If you look him up online, he's done lots of wonderful bass tutorials and is a fantastic jazz player and just a general player in all-round player. And Stephen Duke, who I bought my bass from, my 6-string bass that you all often comment on. Right, I've got to exit to the left here. And I'll spend all day playing the bass for the next 4 days. So I'll give you some regular updates and see how I get on. Okay, take care. You have a good day.